Hi guys, I hope you're really happy with this next update I have for you for the slight revisions to the second story layout for the home at Conejo. I am showing all 10-foot ceilings for the second floor, all new wall, slightly revised wall layouts like we talked about, like we mocked up, and I am showing a consistent 2-foot overhang with a 2 and 12 standing seam metal sloped roof on top, all draining down to the eaves with a 4 by 8 gutter at the edge. And I think it looks really handsome. It's a bit simplified from what we had before, but I feel like I've retained a lot of the design intent, the material palette, and the overall attractiveness of the home while making it simpler and easier for visitors to understand at a glance. And so from this front corner, and I'm going to start now, I think, going up into an overhead view just to show off the simplicity of the roof. So all 10-foot plate heights, plenty of skylights throughout. I'll admit there are quite a few skylights now in this current design, but it all drains to the edge really simply. We've got a small area here of the laundry room and bathroom down below on the ground floor that has a metal roof as well. And the master vestibule has a window that looks out over that, but it's not so bad. It's a nice tall window. And then we've got the master loggia here now that I also have extended out, cantilevering this out 2 feet beyond the edge of the wall below, even though the posts for the loggia frame are stacked over the corner of the walls below. I've extended the parapet out, if you will, ever so slightly to allow for a 2-foot overhang that we have here, as well as what we have here at the front, where this bedroom and closet overhang by 2 feet in front of the ground floor living room. And I've extended the front entry balcony to be that same continuous line. We now have that same overhang over here. So we've got a bit of a consistent look, but also it is giving me a nice 2-foot overhang here at the southern side at this sliding glass door for this downstairs guest suite. So I like having a bit of a southern overhang here. And it also just lets the loggia be just that extra 2 feet bigger and a little bit more interesting and dynamic, with this coming out to the same 2-foot overhang we have up there. Things are looking really cleaned up back here. Oh, and sorry, let's keep going with the roof, and then we'll do a tour of all the windows and such. So I've got the big 2 and 12 roof on the big family room. It's a big, tall roof. You know, this is not exactly what I had envisioned when we were first looking at the inspiration images for, especially those projects in Portola Valley with the pretty flat roofs. But I still think this functions really nicely. And from the ground level, you don't really see the 2 and 12 roof slope, not from the property. I mean, I suppose if we go up to the top of the hill here and we look down, certainly. It's a little too messy, isn't it? Let me hide this very dense geometry. So when we're up here at the top of the property, obviously we're going to see the roof slopes. But down at the deck area, sorry, my computer's frozen up a bit. Down here at the ground level, I think the 2 and 12 slope is effectively hidden from view. And thus, of course, you're up at the master balcony, then you get a good shot of the roof. But it all does slope towards the gutter that goes around at the perimeter of the roof now. trying to keep a nice consistent 2 and 12 roof here. You could potentially lower this slope a little bit and potentially unlock some windows along the back wall, but that's probably a minor point that I can revisit if you like this overall look. Now, I know you guys are concerned about the number of downspouts I have for this giant roof. So I've got one here, I've got the other one here, and I know this is a long run to have uninterrupted without one, so I think, maybe we do one more here between the big corner windows and that ancillary person door here. This might be the right spot to introduce another carefully painted downspout. And of course, we can bury this in the wall cavity, but I prefer to leave things relatively simple and easy, despite what you might have thought with the previous designs. I do like to keep the mechanics of things as simple as possible and just surface mount when we can. And so then, looking at the roof, it's pretty simple. Again, the same is true for the ADU roof. If we do a 2 and 12 roof for the ADU, it winds up being a pretty simple roof. It still has a pretty efficient south-facing array for solar panels. And I would say, though, when we're standing in this relocated bedroom volume that's stacked over the mudroom and the bathroom of the ground floor, when we stand here looking up this bedroom, certainly you're going to see the roof. But I think that looks kind of nice. Especially metal roofing. That's going to be pretty clean looking. Okay, so let's do a quick tour of the windows. The living room windows haven't changed, but I am introducing a 12-inch tall bit of trim material where we've got the 2-foot cantilever of the bedroom above. We'll use the same zinc metal siding or metal roofing material that we're using throughout the home as accent material. We'll belly band this. I think that's a nice way of articulating this overhang. So those windows aren't changed. We're seeing 2 windows for the front-facing guest suite at the second floor. And we have a window here for the closet. It's not necessary, of course, but I do feel like without the window, it just feels a smidge empty and inactive. We don't need it. Maybe it's okay without, but I've opted to include a bit of natural light in the closet. You know what? Hearing myself say it, let's scratch it. Let's get rid of that. We'll have a window at their bathroom, and we have 2 windows here for the other bedroom. These 2 bedrooms here and here share this bathroom. This closet now has no window in it, and I think that's probably okay. I can add it back. But we're seeing 2 windows for this bedroom, plus a window above the bed wall, just to bring in lighting on 2 sides when I can. Plus the shadows that come in underneath this pergola treatment at the, or this loggia treatment that's happening now at the front balcony too. I'm really excited about the shadows that are going to come in here. And let's see, so I've opted not to take this wood treatment all the way up to the roof and extend the roof over. This wound up looking too heavy, and I really wanted to do a second version of what we're doing at the master loggia. So I've opted to bring this down to be 16 inches above the balcony height. So this could serve as a bit of a built-in bench. It can come up a little higher if we want. It's not exactly fixed at 16. It could go to 18 or 20. But I think it'd be nice to be able to sit down on this as a built-in bench to mimic the built-in benchness that's happening down here. And I've cleaned up this bench a little bit. I've opted just to have it look like it's built and carved in of the same wood rather than being a cantilevered bench that sticks out. Now it's built into this void, and I think it just looks fantastic. Okay, So we've got the doors for the upstairs loft area. Now, oh, this is great. So when you come up the stairs now, we come up the stairs, and now we're seeing through this cased opening. This cased opening should come up another foot. We're seeing through this cased opening to those two windows and to the balcony. Now, this could be closed off for an extra bedroom, but just coming upstairs, I think that's really, really fantastic to see that. So two windows for that open lounge area. That stacks over the dining room windows, and these have shifted over. Now the dining room is perfectly centered. Excuse me. The windows here are perfectly centered in the dining room, and these are almost perfectly centered, but it looks good enough, I think, from the inside, and it looks better to have this stacked. So this is shifted over a little bit, and then we've got a high window here for the lounge or future bedroom. There's a bathroom here, so that's the window for that bathroom. And then we're seeing here at the corner, this is the hers closet. I want to have a little corner window here at the closet just to keep what's happening here downstairs at the office corner window, just keep that active. Without that window at the hers closet, we could just get by with a skylight, but I mean, I saw a little bit of cleaning up to do here, but it just looks super inactive, and unbalanced to me. And it's not without merit, but while I'm willing to give up the window for this secondary closet, I do really think it helps activate the second floor to have the corner windows here for her closet. And then what we're seeing here, still the office, no changes there. We're seeing a window above the sink in the laundry room, and then a window above the sink or toilet area in the downstairs bathroom. That sloped roof for their that's ground floor area. And then this is the window at the end of the lounge. So I'm really happy with this. There's a wet bar here that we're not seeing. This is the door into the master vestibule. But we would see at this desk area, this is just a really nice view. A little bit of metal roofing out there doesn't bother me at all. You can see a little bit of the street, but mostly these trees. I'd love to sit here. View of the bedroom there. There'll be a skylight here above this wet bar area, and then this is the access to the hers closet. Again, like look at that, right? It's so cool to have this corner window in this closet, just to see this grove of high trees here. I'm really excited about that. But this is looking really great. I really like how this band of windows is tied together with that metal accent material, and then ties together and just dives down here into this roof. I'm really, really happy with this. Here we're seeing the master bathroom, and we've got no windows on this wall. This is the end of the water closet, but the water closet has a window here you can crank out for good natural air. And then we've got a high window here in the master shower, and then a pair of windows here centered on the tub. And it felt really unbalanced, this back wall, but I think it's okay. I like seeing this amount of wood rather than this whole wall plane be wood as I originally had it. I think it's nice to see a little articulation on this back wall, even though it's all one plane. I think it'd be nice to see the wood stop here and allow the master bedroom to be separate from the master bathroom. And it's pretty arbitrary. I stopped it at the bathroom. We could just as easily stop it at, actually it does make sense to stretch it to the closet wall, or the bedroom wall I should say. That way at least the sliding glass doors that are centered in the bedroom on the inside wall, well now that's not right. Let's try that again. Bring this wall out to here. There we go. Okay, so this requires a little bit of cleaning up and reconfiguring, but I like the idea of setting these posts here. They're supporting this loggia. Let this element seem centered on that wall. I'll fine tune it. And hey, now this is starting to look a little bit centered on this wall plane, being the only windows that we have in the master bathroom. But at least on this wall. I mean, I could put another window over here, but I am changing. I am changing the window heights a little bit, cheating a bit. I've got a nice 8-foot plate height here for the master bedroom windows and the master tub windows, but then I'm cheating the water closet and shower windows a little bit higher to a 9-foot plate height since they're separated by that plane of glass, and just to have a little extra height in those spaces. So continuing on, I've opted also now to move this bedroom. Used to have a tall window facing out to the street, but I don't want that anymore. I've opted to move it or relocate it from this wall to the wall now overlooking the light well. And I think it's just really exciting when you're in this bedroom to be able to look out through here, really take in this framed view through this family room accent, and of course see the pool through this window. So I really like this new location for this window. Super clean light well in plane with this wall, so that's 2 fewer corners than we had before. Very efficient basement shape. No changes to the windows here at the kitchen or the pantry. I'll tighten this up, I think, a little bit when, or maybe not. I know we've changed this window size down below, but I don't think that's accurately reflected right now. But I'll work with structural engineer to fine tune these opening sizes. And then the family room, no changes here really. I mean, fine tuning quite a few different times the ultimate size of this family room, pushing, pulling a little bit, but ultimately we still have a 4-foot deep overhang happening off of these walls. We're getting big, ultra wide sliding glass doors with transoms up above to match. It's still the same design to me. I'm still really happy with it. Even with the outbound gutter, even with the sloped roof, it's still very exciting. It's still very dynamic and interesting and exciting. It's just a little bit easier to maintain now and a little easier for maintenance. That's the same word. It's a little easier to perhaps build too. And I think that's it. I think we've covered all of the windows and the changes to the outside. Guys, I look forward to hearing your feedback on this. What I'm showing on this second floor is matches the assumptions that I had sent you before for the story pool. So if you'd mocked that up, it still matches this. And of course, I'll send you some still images as well, so you can study those a little bit more carefully at your leisure. Thank you again, guys.